Yeah. Mon Peeps observe et enquête d'un héritier. Vos propos obscènes ne renferment aucune vérité. S'il existe une formule, qu'on la formule. En attendant, les gens sont dans la rue, c'est encore mieux. Je sais ce que le Peeps demande. Il voulait qu'Epps se lance. Il veut l'excellence. Souvent je me dis, ceux en face méritent une gifle de ma maman. Ils ont laissé tomber le Peeps comme Obama. Ils ont laissé tomber les enfants, c'est un drame. Le résultat est clair, on sait ce qu'il fallait faire. Ils continuent de parler, donc on continue de se taire. Et ils continuent de faire, ça coûte cher. Les gens veulent juste manger, le but est pas de s'aimer. Ma génération sait, d'embûcher parsemé. Il est temps qu'on transpire, faut qu'on joue le jeu. Si on fait bien les choses, pas besoin de foutre le feu. Oh, je sais ce que le Peeps demande. Je sais ce que le Peeps demande. Il veut l'excellence, l'excellence. Il veut manger, il veut le maximum, il veut le maximum. Je sais ce que le Peeps demande. Je sais ce que le Peeps demande. Il veut l'excellence, l'excellence. Je sais ce que le Peeps demande.
Odd Debrief. This is the Odd Debrief. What we do it half. More simple. We do this very. I would say I do this 90% audio, 90% audio, and 10% I'll do it with the video feed. But I prefer to just do it like a radio broadcast without my face being shown. But this introduction I just give you guys was like so meaningful to me. I just wanted to make sure that I played before I did the DOD today for my report. Fighting world, fighting world, fighting world, combat world, rejoice. We have the International Fight Weekend upon us here. For today is wait and day when it comes to the big events that will unfold this weekend when it comes to the world of MMA. As we all know, your prediction, I already gave you guys your predictions for the UFC for this weekend. I will have a little recap for you guys. And this one here. And I know all you fight fans are excited with the announcement that GSP will return. But GSP will not return to fight. And MMA is just going to be a little grappling session that they will have. And that they invited the great George St. Pierre to come do his little grappling session. Anderson Silva, if I'm not mistaken, will be in this event in December. This will be just for grappling. Don't expect a big match out of George St. Pierre. He have not come fully out of retirement yet. But again, it will be just an invitation which is solely focused on grappling. But for MMA this weekend, let's focus first on our predictions for the big event for 290. As I mentioned a couple of days ago in the DOD episode 1, that we would have in the main event Volkanovski versus Yaya Rodriguez for the main event. And as you all know, my favorite for this bout is Alexander Volkanovski. Do not forget to place your bets on the wrestling, the cardio, the relentless aggression shown in the past by Alexander the Great Volkanovski, stepping inside the octagon at the age of 34 with a record of 25 and 2 losses. This guy brings it, and his only defeat was against Islam Makhachev at 284. Your favorite fighter will be again Alexander the Great Volkanovski to overcome the Muay Thai strikes of Yaya Rodriguez. This fight will be taking place at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. For the co-main event, Your favorite fighter to come on top will be Brandon Moreno. I expect him to defeat TKO or a submission, and I expect him to come out on top victorious and defeat Alexandria Pantoja. Again, Brandon Moreno by TKO or a submission. He will not get a knockout in this fight, but I expect him to either TKO or submit. He will not have a flashy knockout. TKO or a submission. That's the only way it's gonna happen. It will come via the ground game. When you come to the third and my last bout to predict for UFC 290 this weekend, we have Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis. Everybody's picking Robert Whittaker to beat this guy. Me, I like me an underdog. I expect Dricus du Plessis to be victorious this Saturday night against Robert Whittaker. And this one will be either a TKO or it will go to decisions. I don't expect someone to be submitted here. There will not be any choke hold or any ground fancy jiu-jitsu choke. No dash choke, no triangle choke. It will be done by decisions or by a weird TKO, unexpected. I expect this one to go full 5 rounds. If this fight ends before 5 rounds, it will be a big surprise for me. Moving on to the world of the sweet science of boxing. I will start first with a few announcements. Yes, we will get our fight between Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua on August 12th at the O2 Arena in London. Thank you to the Zone Boxing and Matchroom Boxing. This fight will be made available for you guys. And if you ask me who the favorite will be, I will have to go with Dillian Whyte. Oh, the big shocker. He did not pick Anthony Joshua. Why? Dillian Whyte been on a tear. And this fight, I will throw everything out of the window when it comes to who's in shape, who's in good form, who's in bad form. This is a bad blood rivalry between these two fighters, and both Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte. This whole rivalry started in Cardiff, Wales, before it was made famous in the UK. These two are bad. The definition of bad blood. I don't know if they patched the beef, but we know that Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte don't get along well, and they will get a chance to express themselves in the ring at the O2 Arena on August 12th, 2024. We'll have this prediction for you guys when we get near the event, but make no mistake about it, the favorite will be Dillian Whyte. Respect to Jamaica. Put some respect on his name. And number 2 announcement for the month of August, we have Alexander Usyk, who will not be fighting Tyson Fury. Instead, will be fighting Daniel Dubois, one of England's pound for pound heavyweight champions. This will be on TNT Sports and Wrocław, Poland. This will not be in England or in the Ukraine because of the war. It will be done on neutral ground. The venue was picked by Alexander Usyk himself. He is comfortable to fight in Poland. Many of his fanatics will show up to support him there. Ladies and gentlemen, I will read you the resume of Daniel Dubois. His last 5 fights has been against the likes of Ricardo Snyders, Kotaro Fujimoto, Bogdan Dino, Joey Cosumano, Trevor Bryan, Kevin Lorania. The only notable fighter that we know in North America that he fought, and as well as in the UK, who have big reputation, has been Joe Joyce, to whom he had a TKO loss in the 11th round. This is who they're going to feed Alexander Usyk. Daniel Dubois will get beat up by Usyk for 12 embarrassing rounds. And if he's lucky, Usyk will put him out of his misery before round 8 with a knockout or a TKO. The fight that we want to see, because of the politics in boxing, we're not going to get it this year between Usyk and Tyson Fury. And the issue came from both parties. It's a matter of who want to get paid the biggest purse. Instead, we have to settle for Dubois versus Usyk. Folks, your winner will be Alexander Usyk. Put the money on him ahead of time, for God's sake, if you're going to place bets. Moving on to North American boxing before I close the show. This weekend we have Ortiz Jr., who will be fighting against Mr. Stanionis on July 9th. Uh, if you want to make some money, folks, go with Virgil Ortiz Jr. Guaranteed that he will win this fight. This one may go 12 rounds. This will be between Virgil Ortiz Jr. with a record of 19 and 0, 19 KOs. He don't take hostages, folks. He put them out of their miseries. This is the reason why you should pick him. He will be. This fight will be at the AT&T Center in San Antonio, the home of the San Antonio Spurs, and I expect the Mexicans to come out here to support and cheer for their fighter, Mr. Ortiz Jr., who will be facing Emianata Stanionis, who have a record of 14 and 0 with 9 KOs. You want to make some money? Go with Senor Ortiz Jr. The Mexican warrior will deliver on the young lad from Kaunas, Lithuania. He's a good fighter, make no mistake. Only thing is, when you come to World Championship bouts, especially for the WBA regular welterweight title, I expect Ortiz Jr. to collect this Saturday night. And this fight was actually supposed to happen during the COVID times, but there was a delay due to Ortiz being sick during the time, and they had to postpone the fight. These two were supposed to fight a couple of years ago, but we get to finally see them perform this weekend at the AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas, and I expect Ortiz Jr. to come out on top. He will knock him out. Make no mistake about that. Not only when I call the knockouts, I get disappointment results. For example, last weekend I was supposed to get a knockout from Big Baby. I didn't get it, and the weekend before that I did not even call out the fights. But make no mistake about this one, there will be a knockout, and I expect the Aztec Warrior to come out on top. Ortiz will be victorious. Ortiz Jr., excusez-moi, is a Virgil Ortiz Jr., and I expect them to win this fight. And the last one before I close the show will be from the young prodigy Jaron Bouts Ennis, who will be defending his interim IBF welterweight title against Romain Villa in an action-packed contender fight. This fight will be headlined as a premier boxing championship event, the PBC. It will be, if you guys can afford these expensive pay-per-view on Showtime, it will be on the East Coast in Atlantic City, New Jersey. What up, Jersey? Hey, the Garden State. It will be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when the card will begin. But as you all know, the pay-per-view is at 10 or 11:30 p.m. And I expect Mr. Ennis, the Menace, to deliver a sweet knockout or a TKO over Mr. Villa. Folks, that is all I have when it comes to boxing. With a little joke before I go, there was a little complaint from the boxing community this weekend. This past weekend. That would be last weekend, 7 days ago, when Timothy Desert Storm Bradley was roasting young boxers for having their fathers as their trainers. Desert Storm, this new generation, we have to accept what they do when it comes to the sweet science. Yes, I understand that in your generation, it was not a common thing to have fighters train with their family members, especially when it comes to their fathers, their brothers, or their uncles. In this new generation, now we have to adapt to this new style of the likes of the Canelo Alvarez, the likes of the young guy from last weekend who was trained by his brothers, Abdullah, Stevenson, who's trained by all his cousins and them. We have the likes of Devin Haney, who's trained by Mr. Bill Haney. We have the likes of Teofimo Lopez, who's trained by his father. If you ask me, boxing world, I'd say that this is the way to go moving forward. The young fighters now get to focus because now you get to train with your family members. There is no room for distraction. As we can see the likes of Granddad Stevenson who trains Shakur. These guys are blessed to have people who are knowledgeable in the sweet science as their uncles, their fathers, their mothers. And you have the likes of Clarissa Shield. She have a whole family behind her when she's training. This help the fighter. To me, this is my own perspective because I like the way the new generation is handling their business. To have your family member back you up inside the ring to help you manage your profits, to help you manage the way you train, to help you manage your way of dealing with the pressure that the press bring you during fight week, training camp, and all the good stuff fighters do before they step in the ring. Boxing is not just like knocking somebody out. There is a lot that goes in the backstage that we don't know about. And it's best to have these fighters in the hand of their family members to help them manage money, time, and of course when they're training in camp. So Mr. Timothy Bradley, uh, I respect the new wave of boxers who are trained by their family members. Young lads who are into the sweet science, keep doing what you do. If you're gonna trust somebody in this dirty business, you might as well have somebody that you can immediately point the fingers at if the money is missing, if I'm being mismanaged. It'll be easier to fire them because they're a family member. Because you're supposed to take care of me as my family. So if there is a backstab, I know exactly where to point my fingers at. So this is why they're doing it, Mr. Bradley. You don't understand these young lads. I do. I don't blame them. I don't judge them anymore. Okay, this is their generation. Just because you didn't get the blessing back in the 90s and the 80s to be trained by your uncle or your father back then, that's your personal business. It ain't got nothing to do with them. So please go easy on my young fighters and let them enjoy themselves with their loved ones, Mr. Timothy Bradley, okay, or anyone who think like you, sir. And on that note, I would like to close my DoD report for the day. Bet responsibly, and I wish you guys success and collect. Have a nice day, folks. Enjoy your weekend, and happy International Fight Week.